This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
A 6-hour road roko by angry law students is thwarted. The High Court fires a few orders and takes them off the streets. But is the boy in question dead, alive, or has he committed suicide? A few questions that still quiz friends, family and the college. Jayalalitha's clan raised their voices for the farmers of Sri Peravathur. Maitriyan says he will not back out till the demands are met.
Well, if it is a political gimmick, they should have given a befitting reply. Let the Chief Minister announce that the Greenfield Airport scheme is dropped.
Karti Chidambaram pulls out his clean slate, dismisses all accusations of creating a rift within the Youth Congress.
It wasn't as if I was gate crashing into a party or something like that.
And the Foreign Secretary of India makes Karunanidhi a promise to send a senior officer to the island nation to assess rehabilitation.
Early next month, we will be sending a very senior official of the Government of India to Sri Lanka.
Good evening, it's a Wednesday evening and you're watching Headlines Now, your primetime bulletin on NDTV-Hindu. I'm Evelyn Matthew. The journalists, students, doctors are all making news tonight on Headlines Now. Before we bring you all those stories in detail, a look at the stories in the rest of the country. A cloud burst in Uttarakhand claims the lives of 18 children. Few are still believed to be trapped under the debris. A defiant Mamta Didi stands by her controversial remarks on Maoist leader Azad's killing, doesn't rule out mediating between the centre and Maoists. The government comes under attack over the nuclear liability bill. Mulayam and Lalu say the Congress-led Modi off for the support of the BJP. Former Satyam chief Ramalinga Raju gets a bail, but the Andhra court orders that his treatment at his hospital be continued. And the police of Ghaziabad charge 6, including the hostel dean, in the recent suicide case of an engineering student. Well, the agitating students of the Ambedkar Law College have fallen in line thanks to an order by the Madras High Court. After more than 6 hours of a standstill at the Paris Junction, the students were sent back after the long-drawn road roko that was asking for action to be taken against the police officials who allegedly beat up one of their fellow students to death. The High Court has now asked for a case to be registered and have ordered the police to let the boy's parents meet him, as according to the police, the student is still alive, although critically injured. The Madras High Court has also directed the police to register a case to ascertain as to whether a law student has died or is just critically injured. And discussing the role of the lawyers community and the police community as well. Tonight on Headlines Now, joining is Mr. Prabhakaran, the Tamil Nadu Advocates Association's president. Thanks very much, sir, for joining us this evening. According to you, what was the reason for such a sudden protest by the law students today when whether Ashok Kumar was in fact dead or alive or committed suicide was not even clear in the first place?
Yes, yesterday evening the student Mr. Ashok Kumar, he is traveling on a state bus. There is a body quarrel between the conductor and the student, law student, and they pull into the police, and then the police, the one he says, the SI and the inspector are beaten very severely, and several injuries has been sustained on the body, and then he went to home and he had a chest congestions, and immediately today morning they brought him to the hospital there in Changalpet, and we are receiving a message that still he is in a very critical condition. But whereas the police says that he is alive, but the students are all saying that he is dead. So in these circumstances they moved in a court. The Madras High Court, the division bench has come forward, and they ordered the inquiry headed by the Deputy Commissioner, Deputy Superintendent of Police. They ordered. But what I have been trying to say, even yesterday night, the student Mr. Ashok Kumar, he lodged a complaint before the hierarchies, that is in SP, he sent a message immediately. What is the reason for attack? But we are all the legal fraternity members of the bar, we are strongly condemning it, because even after 19-2 incident, the police personnel targeting the law students and the lawyers community. One after another, they are going on with repeated action against the legal fraternity and the law students. Therefore, we are bringing to the notice of the court to some stringent action against the police department. Otherwise, each and every day we are suffering a lot, because whenever we are questioned anything, the legal frame, immediately the police officials are attacking the lawyers and attacking the law students. This is not correct. Even yesterday incident, if you see, this is one a good example. What is the reason for attack? See, suppose it is a reason the law students are making question the conductor informing the police. Immediately the police, 2 persons came and discriminately attacked. He sustained head injury. Immediately he had a fit. Everything has been come out. Then taken to the hospital. Now even the parents are not allowed to see the students. This is the circumstances. Immediately all the students come with the road roko and they are creating a lot of problems, and this is the circumstances. But what I have been repeatedly trying to say, the police authorities, once we lodge a complaint against the erring police official, why the higher police official is keeping quiet? They would have taken immediate action against the erring police official. That you would do it. Otherwise, this type of you cannot avoid this type of problems. See, otherwise the students will come and they are raising their voice. They are raising for the democratic, their agitations, everything going on. We can't say that the students coming on the road and fighting for the justice. We can't say it is not correct. It is absolutely the legal fraternity. We are strongly supports the law students in this case, because the innocent students has been suffered a lot. The innocent students has been attacked by the police officials without any reason, without ascertaining any facts. You have to ascertain the facts. Of course, even assuming that some complaints has been lodged against the students, you have to ascertain the facts whether it is correct or not. But prior to that, if you are going on attack the students, he is facing a lot of problem. Now he is in a critical condition. Nobody knows what is his condition, and they are not come forward the truth that whether the students are alive or not. This is the circumstances. The agitation is going on right now.
Right, that confusion still prevails. But sir, you call this a good example in this case, but this was in fact a 6-hour protest that had inconvenienced public to such a large extent. Traffic snarls were reported across the country. Is this really a way to even protest?
Madam, we can't say it is wrong. See, the law students are not going every day and stopping the peoples or blocking the road. It is not safe. So every day they are not doing it. But all of a sudden yesterday evening, the students went to home and he suffered a lot and he has faced some critical stages by the police. The police attacked. This message is received in today morning that all of the students, what is the reason for attack? Why he had been attacked? Why he has been admitted in the hospital? Nobody knows. Even the mother, the student's mother, she going on crying, she is saying, we do not know what had happened inside. The students has been admitted in the hospital. We do not know. This being the circumstances, the students of the law college and they enter all the statewide, all of them came around and they are blocking the road. We can't say it is wrong, because so to some extent we have to take burdens, because in a normal life there is no water. All the people, those local residents are blocking the roads, and it's a voice of democracy. We can't say this is also one of we are showing our agitation. Within the method we are adopting, to some extent the peoples are suffering, the publics are suffering, it is true. Even then, what I have been trying to say, what is the solution? This kind of atrocities done by the police to stop somewhere. Otherwise, that's why we are repeatedly saying that the High Court should come heavily and then insist not those who are erring officials to punish. Otherwise, this will be the continuing process. The students will go for agitations, the lawyers will go for agitation. It become a never-ending process. That's why we are repeatedly saying there must be the police hierarchies, higher authorities, the IG is concerned, the Deputy Commissioner of Police or the DGP, Director General of Police, they should come forward and take stringent actions against the erring police official. This is the only solving the problem. Otherwise, this will go on, create one after another. Whoever raised the voice, see what I have been trying to say, only one issue we have to think it out. If you forget the lawyers community, the engineering students or medical students, they are not facing this type of problems. Only the law students will, because these peoples will raise the voice in a democracy if any unevents is going on in the society, or any unethical is going on in the society, or any violence is going on in the society. This has been questioned by the legal fraternity or by the students of law students. When we are questioning, these people are taking an ego and they are attacking the law students. It is not correct. So this is
Right,
the way we have to take. Suppose if anything unevents is going, yes.
You may call it democratic and you may say this is maybe the only way that your voice can in fact be heard. But have you tried to establish contact with those parents? Have you tried to approach that hospital in which that student is reportedly lying at?
Today evening, madam, I contacted the mother. Father is not alive, I was told, but I contacted the mother, is going on crying. See, this is the circumstance. She is not able to talk to us. And the friends, those who are living there in the hospital nearby, they say that, so we went and met the students, but he is still is in a critical stage. He didn't talk. He didn't, no movements, nothing. They are saying they are also crying. If this be the message we are reviewing, but whereas the police people, they are given the information to the division bench of this court, they say that he is still alive, but whereas the division bench passed an order to transfer the private hospital, Apollo or some other hospital, they passed an order. But what I have been trying to say, we are making out an application.
Right.
We require to judicial inquiry. See, of course, the division bench has passed an order. The headed by the DSP make an inquiry or RDO inquiry, whatever it is. But the judicial inquiry is the only to solve this problem. The judicial inquiry will come out the truth, who on whose mistake has been committed, what is the reason for attack, whether the police officials can do all sort of things, that only by judicial inquiry alone can come out the truth.
Right, sir. Now that the High Court has intervened, the DSP is expected to intervene in this issue as well. Is this acceptable to you? What will be your next course of action?
Oh, we will wait and see when they are going to file a report. After seeing the report, suppose if the report is not satisfied, see, we already had an experience in some other cases. The police people will make an inquiry, even the commissioner level. I am not talking about the DSP level. The commissioner level, some committee has been constituted, but that commissioner level committee also will come and say the only allegations against the law students or against the lawyers. This is usual in the earlier occasions. We made it out. If this is the circumstances, I don't think the DSP will come to the truth. He will say that no, only our police alone committed a mistake. Definitely they won't do it, but even then the court has been given a direction today. So suppose if we are having any fight on the police departments, they would have registered a case yesterday itself. When the complaint has been lodged even yesterday evening. The students has lodged a complaint. He specifically mentioned the police official's name. You would have initiate the complaint yesterday morning itself and registered a case, and you would have hoosed out these two people. But you have not done it. So we have no faith on you. That's the reason we have moved before the court.
Right, so you obviously are feeling targeted and the entire community feels targeted by the police, and that's what you've been saying. But thanks very much indeed. We just hope that that judicial inquiry, like you've been mentioning, does deliver justice to friends of Ashok and to his family as well. We'll only have to wait and see how this pans out. But thanks very much once again, Mr. Prabhakaran, for joining us this evening on Headlines Now. Now, more news of protests. Rain or storm, the main opposition in the state, it seems, the AIADMK, has decided to stand by their farmer friends this time to make sure they pocket their votes in 2011. Jayalalitha's clan took out to the streets in Sriperumbudur, pledging their support to the farmers. The agitation was to protest against the government's move to acquire almost 7,000 acres of land for the Greenfield airport there. It was a massive show of strength with hundreds of party workers and families of farmers led by the Rajya Sabha member Dr. Maitriyan. Well, the grand plans for a greenfield airport near Sriperumbudur has attracted clearly a lot of criticism, especially among politicians. There's also fear among villages that surround the town where the people believe they might be asked to relocate. Ndtv-Hindu visited one of those villages called Thirumanikuppam.
Shankari has been unhappy ever since reports of a new airport near her village started emerging. She is worried that her family and many farmers like them might have to abandon their village where they have lived for more than 30 years.
எங்கள் பிள்ளைங்கள் இல்லை ஊர் பிள்ளைகள் எல்லாமே பக்கத்தில் ஸ்கூல் இருக்குது, அங்கே போய் படிக்கிறாங்க. ஸ்ரீபெரும்புதூருக்கும் போயிட்டு படிக்கிறாங்க. இவங்க எங்கே கிரீன்ஃபீல்டு விமான நிலையம் வந்தால் இவங்க எங்கே எடுத்துன்னு போய் விடுவாங்க. எங்கள் பசங்கள்லாம் மேல் படிப்பு படிக்கிறதுக்கு வசதியாக இருக்குமா இந்த இடம், அப்படியெல்லாம் நாங்கள் யோசனை பண்ண வேண்டியது இருக்குது. கிரீன்ஃபீல்டு விமான நிலையம் எங்கள் ஊருக்கு வேண்டாம், எங்கள் கிராமத்துக்கு வேண்டாம்.
இந்த ஊர் விட்டு போகிறோன்ற அந்த மன உளைச்சல் இருக்கும் எங்களுக்கு. வேறு எங்கேயாவது போகணுன்னா இப்போ நம்ம ஊர் காணாமல் போய்டும். நம்ம பரம்பரையாக வாழ்ந்த ஊர் இது, அம்மா அப்பா வந்தாங்க, தாத்தா வந்தாங்க, அந்த ஊர்லேயே இருக்கணுன்றது எங்களுக்கு விருப்பம் இருக்குது.
A soil test carried out at a neighbouring village has triggered concerns in Thirumanikuppam, which lies 10 kilometers from Sriperumbudur town. But village panchayat officials have dismissed the fears of the villagers as baseless. Thirumanikuppam is a peaceful village with abundant natural water supplies. It has a school, a library and a flourishing small-size handicraft industry. The soil is rich and ideal for agriculture, especially for paddy. It's a village of farmers.
ஒரு எங்களுக்கு நிலம் இல்லை, மற்றவர்களுடைய நிலத்தில் ஒரு காக்காணி பயிர் வச்சா கூட அவங்களுக்கு நான் பயிர் வச்ச நிலத்துக்காரருக்கு நிலத்தை நெல் கொடுத்துட்டு குத்தகை கொடுத்துட்டு நாங்கள் வந்து ஒரு வருஷம் காக்காணி பயிர் வச்சா கூட ஒரு வருஷம் நாங்கள் வந்து சாப்பிடுவோம். அதனால் நாங்கள் வேறு இடத்துல அமிச்சாங்கன்னா நாங்கள் இந்த மாதிரி வசதியே எங்களுக்கு கிடைக்காது.
The vast stretch of land behind me is the livelihood for over 500 families that live here. A square meal for each of them depends on this very land. With the proposed talks of the Greenfield Airport coming up at this very land, the villagers feel the scenic beauty of their village and their life will never be the same. In Thirumanikuppam village, with camera person Raja Singh, Lokpriya, Ndtv-Hindu.
Well, as days goes by, many political parties also taking up their cause. Now on to others story. The Indian Foreign Secretary Nirupama Rao called on Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi today with the Lankan Tamil rehabilitation top on her agenda. She said India is determined to accelerate the pace of rehabilitation and that a consulate will be set up this year in Jaffna. Nirupama Rao assured the Chief Minister that an envoy would be sent to Sri Lanka next month to assess the rehabilitation process in the country.
Government has said an envoy will be sent from India, ma'am. Has that been finalized? Who will be going there now?
Yes, in fact, we discussed that and I informed the Chief Minister that early next month we will be sending a very senior official of the Government of India to Sri Lanka, especially to visit the conflict-ridden areas which have now, of course, war is ended, and especially to look at the development needs, because beyond rehabilitation we have to look at development, we have to look at livelihoods, we have to look at communications, all these aspects. So we are looking at an integrated manner in which we can help the people of the northern province and the eastern.
Although India has given so much of aid, the pace with which the rehabilitation and display is taking place is quite slow. Is that a kind of a disappointment and a matter of concern for the Indian government?
All I would like to say in response to that is we are determined to accelerate the pace and we want to work much faster.
Well, a hopeful and an optimistic Mrs. Rao there. Now, there appears to be an acute shortage of paramedical staff, not just in rural areas, but also in the cities. But now, private enterprises are stepping up to address the issue. Starting this academic year, the MEOT Academy of Allied Health Sciences will train 75 students in para-professional courses that will equip them with practical knowledge. Bachelor courses in accident and emergency care, cardiac pulmonary care, critical care, anesthesia technology, and physician assistant and radiology as well will be equipped. These 3-year courses are being held in affiliation with the Dr. MGR Medical University. Students with 12th standard qualification are eligible to apply. The last day for applications will be the 30th of this month.
Basically, what this does is, being a skills-based course, people will have employment opportunities very easily, because many hospitals, especially with the healthcare scenario as it is in India, where the needs are great, these people will be trained in skills. They would be given vocational guidance, and the employment opportunities would be great. Secondly, this will make the healthcare itself more caring and more cost effective, because what they will be trained in is to assist doctors.
This is Headlines Now. Still ahead on the bulletin, we take a peek into an age-old funeral service station of the city that's as old as the Sepoy Mutiny.